Welcome to the Gridiron Central Scoreboard Show, a special Saturday edition. For those of you who watched us live last night or saw the recorded version before this one, I sincerely apologize. The audio on my portion was out. Of course, a lot of fans might prefer seeing the show without having to listen to me. Unfortunately, you're going to have to listen to me now. We're going to run back through the scores from last night, talk about some analysis, show you highlights from a couple of games. We're going to start with the game that was actually played on Thursday night. LFO 28, Gordon Lee nothing. The Warriors begin the season 1-0. Now on to all of Friday night's action. We start up in Bartow County, where the Cass Colonels, after going winless last year, pick up their first win in the 2012 campaign with a 33-27 win over Adairsville. Out in Armuchee, a game that we will have highlights from later in this show, we had Trion 34, Armuchee 3. The Bulldogs grab a very big opening week win. Another huge game, this one up in Gordon County. Calhoun at home has to score within the last 30 seconds of the game to beat Ridgeland 42-35. Big win for Calhoun, but watch out for those Panthers. They're going to be awfully good this year as well. Another big Gordon County win. Gordon Central 35, Coosa nothing. Coosa's a very young team. Gordon Central's offense obviously already in midseason form in that one. Moving on, one of the Rome teams that actually got a win, Model 47, Christian Heritage 17. Christian Heritage moving into the GHSA. I'll get it right eventually. For the first time, Model not a good host. They win their start of the season 1-0. Remember, Model only had one win all of last season. If they can just get one more, they'll double last season's win total. Out in Lindale, the Northwest Whitfield Bruins, a Class 4A team, handled the Dragons 23-7. Pepperell begins the season 0-1. Next week, they're going to have another tall test having to face Cedartown. Going up north, Ringgold 47, Heritage 17. This is Ringgold's second game of the season. They began the season last week just losing to Dalton. I think the Tigers are going to be an awfully good team again this year. Rome on the road, region, new classification, new region, beat South Paulding 34-15. A very good start for the Rome Wolves. Sonoraville, the only Gordon County team to lose last night. Pickens County 50, Sonoraville 21. Phoenix just could not get things going last night. Unity Christian falls their second game of the season. They're now 0-2. Calvary Christian 24, Unity 7. This was played up at Shorter. Unity now 0-2 on the season. Another team, local team, is now 0-2 on the season, Darlington. The Tigers traveled to Cartersville. The Purple Hurricanes all over the Tigers, 28-7. Remember, Cartersville was a very good Class AAA team. Darlington's a single A team. I believe that the Tigers are going to have a week off before they have to play Chattooga, so watch for Darlington to bounce back. The Battle of Polk County was a very one-sided affair. Cedartown Bulldogs win it 40-14 over the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. And one more game we will mention, Chattooga falls to East Hall 28-20. When we come back, we'll see some highlights from the Armuchee Trion game and that nail-biter between Calhoun and Ridgeland.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your college, your town, your future.
Gridiron Central is sponsored by Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Riverside Automotive Group, 333 on Broad Street, Wow Cafe and Wingery. Gridiron Central is sponsored by
We'd like to thank our sponsors, Georgia Northwestern Technical College and Riverside Automotive Group, 2 sponsors that have been with Gridiron Central for a long time. Remember, this is the 6th season of Gridiron Central. And as always, we were out at high school football games last night. I actually was on the sidelines for the Armuchee Trion game, and the Trion Bulldogs came into this with something to prove and left having made a very big statement.
Was good enough to take advantage of those mistakes. We know we've got a young team and we've got to work on us. Give them credit. They did a heck of a job. They won the battle up front, which we knew that we had to do in order to have a chance to win a ball game, and we didn't do that. So we'll come back. We'll start Sunday, and we'll work on us and hopefully get better.
It's great, man. Our kids have worked so hard. We had a bad year last year, and this was, we've asked them to do a whole lot of different things, from change the way we practice, change the way we lift weights. We've changed everything scheme-wise, top to bottom, and our kids have responded and have answered every challenge. And, it was humid tonight. We got a lot of guys going both ways, but they stepped up tonight, man. We were still in good shape there in the third quarter, kept hitting, kept playing hard. Let a fumble get away from us there, and I was disappointed in that, but we still got a lot of work to do. It was a good night, though.
34-3 win over Armuchee. A couple of key takeaways from that game. First off, Trion's offensive and defensive fronts are very big. They're very physical. And something else that's quite interesting is they're in very good shape, especially this early in the season. They really were one of the big keys of that game, in my humble opinion. They just, both offensive and defensive lines, kind of manhandled the Indians in that game. Also, Trion's good running backs. They threw the ball a couple of times effectively. Very good skill position players. Trion just looked like a team that was almost in midseason form for all practical purposes. Of course, they're going to need to be in midseason form. They play Lafayette next week. That's another kind of rivalry game for Trion, and that's also a classification. Lafayette's a classification 2 higher than the Class A Bulldogs. We'll see how that goes next week. As far as Armuchee goes, don't get too down on the Indians. They showed some flashes where they looked pretty decent. At one time, the game was 19-3. They forced a fumble right at the goal line for Trion. If Armuchee could have done something with that, they might have been able to make it a game. Of course, they were not able to. Ensuing possession, first play, Trion, big touchdown run, and for all practical purposes, the game was over at that point. Watch for Armuchee. I think the Indians are going to get better and better as the season goes along. I think they're going to be a factor in Region 7 AA, but only time will tell there. Speaking of another big Region 7 AA team, this was a non-region contest, however. Calhoun had to score with less than 30 seconds left on the clock at home to beat a resilient Ridgeland team. This is a great game and some great highlights coming up now.
Number 15, John McCoy, for 73 yards for a Ridgeland touchdown. He is a penalty marker on the play.
Yeah, that was, I scheduled that game for that purpose because I knew that'd be a great test, and I thank the world of Coach Mariakis and their team. They're going to win a lot of football games. They're very talented, and now our kids will know what it's like if we're in that situation again in the playoffs. And I thought our kids handled themselves very well in the second half. We played so dumb sometimes and made a lot of mistakes, but bottom line is we found a way to win.
No, we got beat by a good football team. They've been in that situation before. They had the ball less than a minute tied up and did what they needed to do, made some plays and won the football game. But I tell you, our kids, I don't think I've ever been proud of a group of kids, these guys right here. Never gave up, came into a hostile situation with maybe one of the best football teams in the state and took them to the wire. So we'll learn from our mistakes here, but hats off to them, the community, everybody that's been supporting us. It's been a good evening, barring getting beat.
So victory over the Panthers. A couple of takeaways from this game. Number one, we knew Calhoun's defense was going to be young. Obviously, giving up 35 points might be a little bit of a cause for concern. However, remember, Ridgeland is a very good AAA team. They've been to the playoffs 4 or 5 straight years in AAA. Calhoun quarterback Taylor Lamb, again, what else can you say about this kid? Phenomenal athlete, makes great decisions at quarterback, threw for over 3,000 yards last year. In all honesty, I'd be surprised if he doesn't throw for at least 2,500 again this year. Calhoun, also, when I talked to Calhoun coach Hal Lamb after their preseason game, and I asked him about this opening slate of games where he starts with Ridgeland, a good AAA team, Dalton, a good 4A team, and then Carrollton, which is, a state power team. Coach Lamb told me, look, we could start this season 0-3 and still be a good football team, and he's right. I didn't think they'd start the season 0-3, but the reason they play these games, all 3 of these opponents, is to get ready for the grind for 7AA, but even better, to play some good top-quality opponents so that when they get to the playoffs, they've already played teams as good, if not better, than anybody they're going to see in the playoffs. Ridgeland, on the other hand, kind of the same way for the Panthers. They want to play Calhoun because Calhoun is the best team in Northwest Georgia and has been for 4 or 5 years. They had a home and away series a few years ago. Ridgeland kind of got pounded in both of those games. Tonight, the Panthers held their on, and let's be real honest, this is a very good Ridgeland team, and this Ridgeland team has the potential to do a lot of great things as the season progresses. I see them possibly being a 9-1, 8-2 type team that can make a run deep into the playoffs. As far as next week goes, of course, Calhoun against Dalton in that annual grudge match. Dalton hasn't won the past few years, but those games have been close. We'll see how close they will be this year. You may also have noticed these highlights were a little bit shorter than what we normally show on the show. That's because we have full-length highlights on PrepCentralOnline.com. And of course, if you'd like to see any of the games we shot, that includes LFO Gordon Lee from Thursday night, Armuchee, Trion, and Calhoun Ridgeland from last night, log on to PrepCentralOnline.com. You can also find them on our Facebook page, which crazily enough is also called Prep Central. Right after this, we'll have a commercial break. We'll come back with our final thoughts.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your college, your town, your future.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Riverside Automotive Group. 333 on Broad Street. Wow Cafe and Wingery.
Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Georgia Northwestern Technical College and Riverside Automotive Group, and Johnny's Pizza for sponsoring the weekly You Pick'em High School Pick'em contest, where we get the chance to pick against our sports writers for a chance to win a pizza each week, and at the season, a chance to win our grand prize of a flat screen TV. Log on to PrepCentralOnline.com to play it each week. And that's pretty much a wrap for this show. Again, if you'd like to see any of the highlights, go to PrepCentralOnline.com. If you'd like to watch the show again, you can see us on YouTube and the previous mentioned, PrepCentralOnline.com. We'll be back again on Wednesday for the high school football preview show with my tag team partner, Matt Davis. Until then, we'll see you on the sidelines.
Gridiron Central is sponsored by Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Riverside Automotive Group, 333 on Broad Street, Wow Cafe and Wingery,